I guess then we've got another team that I don't know. Well, obviously they're not overperforming nearly as much as Sunderland, but people had lots of doubts about Man U right after last season. I saw
Yeah.
people saying like, whoever loses the Europa League final is getting relegated next season out of the Prem.
Oh boy.
No,
Well, okay,
they're
that's stupid, but
yeah,
sure,
that's
man.
stupid. But they're doing pretty well for themselves, honestly.
Yeah.
So Amorim
Ahead of
especially
you
is
guys, ahead of y'all.
yes,
So
they are on gold if they are ahead. To be
not
fair,
even goal.
there's like
I think it's goals scored actually,
no.
right?
Oh, okay. Is it? I swear there are like five teams that are tied on points, right? Yeah.
Yeah, something
Amorim.
like that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get to him. His tenure at Man U has been just like one long experiment in conviction and trust. Because like we've seen for months that signature 3-4-3 of his just could not fit into this team. But like now, a year after he was signed, they're 5 games unbeaten, not 5-1, unfortunately for the United Strand. But they are
5 games unbeaten
seventh.
is nothing to scoff at.
Yeah, they're seventh. They're all fifth, only on goal diff. That's the big thing as well. And the tactics, with some slight changes, are clearly working now. There's rhythm in the attack. Cunha can drop deep between the lines. Mbuemo, he presses, he stretches defenses wide. Sheshko hasn't scored much yet, obviously, but even he can hold up the ball, and I think he can just generally apply more pressure than like Hoyland was doing before. I think I said it after that like first win they had versus Sunderland that for the first time all season and even for most of last season, United looked like a balanced team. They're actually working off of like cohesion. They don't just need wild individual moments like I immediately think of that Leon game, the crazy 6-5 aggregate whatever. They don't need that anymore. The
You don't need Harry
tactics
Maguire,
they
right? You
don't.
don't
Yeah,
need
they don't need his
you
magic.
don't need
Well,
Harry
like
Maguire to
can
become
use
a winger.
they can use his magic, but like they don't need it just to win a game. They don't need it just to get a point.
Unless it's Liverpool, but yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry, I
Don't
just had to
don't
rub it in.
trauma. Yeah. I know, I know. The tactics are working, man. Honestly, I think the way it's going, the tactics can work until season's end. So, though we didn't rate them for the UCL when we were talking about them the last international window, I think they can very much be a competitor now. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I want to. So this is going to be. I don't know if it's going to be the thumbnail of the main video, but if not an offshoot clip or something, I want to have like the Amarin Manager of the Month for October picture from the official Premier League website. That would be quite funny. That is that's just so crazy to me. Um, I want to talk about what happened in these last 5 games because part of it is to be expected that United would get better. But over these last 5 games, we actually have to say that Amarin has like actively made several changes. So first off, what happened 5 games ago? Uh, these last 5 games were the only 5 Prem games so far that Shane Lamens has started. So I don't know, not a coincidence. For some context, he has conceded 8 goals in these 5 games. Does not sound very good, but remember he's faced 9.51 expected goals on target, so he's actually way overperforming what we would expect from him. And I think 8 goals does not sound very good, but clearly we would both agree he passes the eye test, right? This man is so much more composed than Bayendir or Onana na come in. He's I think their best keeper they've had since David De Gea. I'll be completely honest.
Oh yeah, no,
And
that's not even a question. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
he hasn't started for that long, but like if you're going off of the
But
game
it
so
doesn't matter.
far,
He's had
absolutely.
5 good games so far.
He's been amazing.
I
So
just to be
like,
clear,
yeah.
he's had 5 good games. Onana has not had 5 good games over his entire Man United tenure. So like he's already better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, his ability to defend crosses, his command of the team, him he bosses the defensive line. Um, I think he makes the entire defense better, and he's the first piece in the puzzle that has made this team grow in confidence overall. The second thing I want to point out from Amarin though is his ability to finally show some flexibility, not of his lineup, not of the tactical system that he's trusted, but with the players that he's playing. So one example, during against Nottingham, Ahmad Diallo got cooked from crosses. He was playing as a right wing back, and it's not his fault, but he's just not like a defender, so he gets cooked. Um, I didn't think he would do this. I thought um that Amrin would be too stubborn and just play the 3 new attackers he had. But no, Amad Diallo found his way into the starting lineup as an attacker, and Mazraoui, who had a good start last season, but ended up fading out of the lineup, making his way back in. So that's showing that Amorim is not going to be rigid with his players, and also Harry Maguire making his way into the starting lineup over the past 5 games, also showing that he's not going to be rigid. So I think Amorim definitely deserves a lot of credit here.
Yeah, I think the other thing is like the tempo is just a lot better right now across the whole team. Last season's team, like I feel like they overpassed a lot and they just weren't very penetrative. They didn't get too far. This team, they're faster, they're sharper in transition, they're more vertical. It's not so much a tactical thing in this case for me. Like obviously the lineups have been a lot better, but I think just generally the team is also playing a lot better. Um, Long diagonals from Lamens or the center backs going towards guys like Diallo and Mbuemo, and that works really well because Ahmad's pace and Mbuemo's movement across the final third, like so you get the balls to them and they can really progress it for you real quickly. Which again, that pace is something I think United were missing. And that actually puts United now among the league's top teams in like switches of play. And Bruno obviously has been great, but now put him in the midfield with Casemiro. Okay, okay. He's been consistent at the very least. I feel like we can say, which
On
is
one end of the pitch,
a
I'll say he's
lot
consistent on
more.
one end of the
Okay, but
pitch.
here's the thing, because that's a lot more than we could say for Casemiro before, right? But
True, true.
now put them both in the midfield, and not only is Bruno still playing pretty well, but we're seeing good performances from Casemiro now. Of course, he's not as consistent, but just think about the fact that like people used to very much fear seeing him on the starting lineup. It's
They
not
did think he was finished 6 months ago.
right.
To be fair,
It's and now it seems like there's actually some hope for Casemiro. That's a big thing, I think. So now their range and their diagonals, even going further up the pitch, can help United bypass pressure, keep the ball moving quickly, so they can keep playing direct. I just think all the players have gotten like settled into a nice faster tempo, which is what they really needed. The entire roster is working at that faster pace. And they're playing better as a result of it. I think with this
yes,
roster, they were playing too slow before. It's a lot better now.
yeah.
Yeah.
One thing, two things. First off, the people that are saying Casemiro should be off the starting lineup and that they should be playing Ugarte instead, shut the fuck up. Also, I think it's great transfer strategy by Manchester United because I agree with you. It's not tactical why the team is so much faster now because Cunha, in Bumo, that's just the system they play, and it's made the team a lot better. You have somebody like Casemiro who can push the ball forward. Same with Bruno. By the way, to be clear, I think if you want to start Kobe Manu, okay, different question. That's interesting, but Ugarte has one of the lowest ball IQs I've ever seen from a Premier League midfielder. Like, holy shit, this guy has no idea what the hell is going on. Um, but yeah, with that front three, they're cooking. I think what makes this expected is that when you completely replace your entire attack, you have to expect that it takes some time. Unless you're Sunderland, it's going to take some time for you to adjust. And so, in the first 6 Premier League matches this season, they scored just 7 goals, Manchester United, from 12.2 xg, and now in the last 5 games, they've had 6.2 xg and scored 12 goals. So we know how clinical these attackers are. I think that's an overshoot. I don't think that's sustainable, but but this should have been expected. That's why I don't think. That's why the two of us were not warning crazy like alarm bells. Let's say when at the beginning of the season it was taking time for the front three to adjust because there was always going to be an adjustment period. And these are 3 players, or at least 2 of them, that had experience in the Premier League that we knew could play the system, and so we kind of knew that like eventually this was going to work.
Yeah. And again, like just besides tactics, which again, there have been great improvements there, I have to look at just the team has like they've had a better mentality. They earlier this season even, not looking at like from last season to this season, earlier this season they completely folded when games turned against them. I think of the Arsenal game. They were amazing until Calafiori's goal, and then they fizzled out afterward. Now they really do fight back by the end of the game. Admittedly, in that Tottenham game, their intensity dropped off in the second half, which let Tottenham grab their two quick goals, but they stayed in it afterward, and De Ligt got the header at the end to salvage them a point. You can argue they should have had three, but at the start of the season, they wouldn't have had one. So I
No,
think,
very true.
yeah,
Yeah.
they,
Also, same thing against Nottingham. No, same thing against Nottingham. Same thing against Burnley in the season. There might be more I'm forgetting, but yeah, very valid point.
yeah, just so between, so not just from last season to this season, but even over this season, I've seen improvements in that regard. And of course, this team is by no means perfect. They've spent the second most time in winning positions, just behind City. But then they really drop off in second halves. It has been a recurring problem for them. But like they're not scared of like going down in the second half and then like just never coming back. They can handle that adversity. They went down to 10 men against Tottenham and they still found the equalizer. I think they could maybe use just a little more bench depth. Obviously, they have more than a team like Sunderland, so it's not as much of an
I don't
excuse if
even know if
things go
that's true.
wrong.
Sunderland like can pull players out of a fucking hat. Apparently,
Well, Sunderland can make the most random seeming players play super well, so that's something. But I don't know, like maybe give them a new midfielder to help Bruno and Casemiro in the winter window. But
I
then,
think give
like,
them Kobe Manu. I really think he deserves to get like because the thing with it's not like Amarin's goal is like gatekeeping playing time for play. Like I'm seeing Mount and Xerxes get time. Xerxes especially in the past 5 games, which I think is great. You know, challenge everyone, make it clear that nobody deserves to start in the starting lineup. But what about Kobe Manu?
yeah, fair enough. I guess, yeah, they have the roster, to be honest. But they look good. They look good right now. I think maybe Amram does just need to keep experimenting with the players so that we're not letting people get complacent, which I feel like is kind of what happened before. That was a big issue. And they look alive. I think just make sure that the players have a little pressure on them so that they are playing at their best. They can stay in the roster. And they will do well for the rest of the season. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say there's only two big issues I have right now. One is the defense. I think Matthias de Ligt has been absolutely amazing. He's basically like the proto captain of their defense. He's made the Lenny Euros, the Harry Maguires, the Luke Shaws better, but I do think that those other players really struggle to deal, especially with crosses. And when you don't really have that many other players that will track back, it's really just Casemiro. Now it's Mazraoui. Again, good change. You need people to be able to do that. And I think, if not this month, maybe in the next month or the next few months, the Butcher, Martinez, coming back as a center back for them, that'll be crucial. That'll be an absolute game changer. And also, their offense, I would say, the speed is great, right? But I would almost say they have the same problem as Chelsea now. What do you do when you have to break down a low block? So I've not been convinced in these 5 games that United can do that very well. That's the main issue I have right now. But like you're saying, as you rotate, I think they'll be able to deal with that as well. And also, as you sign more players, the system you need to give it time to cook. Last season, it looked like you were cooking something rotten. Now I see the vision, so I'm putting some more faith in Amarin.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, so Man U, uh, definitely I think now in the European race. But I would
100%,
say,
yeah.
yeah, I would say though, even though they're not too many points off of some of these other teams at the very top, they're probably not in the title race, which I feel like has, I mean, it's really thinned out the
But and
competitors.
they're not trying to be. That's not. That
Yeah,
was
yeah,
obviously
that's
not a
fair.
goal.
But I feel like the title race has really thinned out because one certain team just cannot stop playing insane every game. I talked about them earlier. They can control games like just at will. They can decide to score 5 on you or they can hold you to a 1-0 loss. Arsenal. You want to talk about them?
Yeah, the team that's gonna break Jose Mourinho's 15 goals in a season record. Yeah, let's talk about Arsenal,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.